I'm a typical Zimbabwean young man, and I grew up as normally everyone in Zimbabwe, every young man could do. I was born and raised in a mission station, which I can safely say it was a peri-urban. We had all the amenities, running tap, running water, electricity, and everything that you could find in an urban area. And my father was a dealer, a general dealer. He owned a vast number of shops in our district. Welcome, Anova Madiri. Today I'm talking about gold. Today I will discuss all about gold, how to start a small-scale gold mine in Zimbabwe, how to scale it bigger to a big mine. Why? Because I've seen that most people, their thinking is all about small scale. No one really thinks about going big scale. As we were growing up, I was fortunate enough to see big gold mines like Sabi Gold Mine and Avenco Mine. Those were some of the big mines like Fred and Rebecca, which we had in our time. They grew to be big, but when we were growing up, when things were going down, even those big mines began to crumble, and all we were then left in our country was small-scale mines. So today I will debunk on how to start a small-scale gold mining in Zimbabwe with a practical experience, because I've been involved in it. I'm not just speaking something which I haven't done. I've been involved in gold mining and I know what is involved. So, where does gold come from? Why? Because without that fundamental knowledge, in most cases, it leads people to them going on a rampage searching for gold, but in a way they would be gambling with their money. That's then which gives rise to the notion that gold needs a money. Gold needs money if done proper. After my father's business empire collapsed, I was forced to find a new way to survive. That's when I discovered artisanal gold mining, a path that led me from digging with the bare hands to establishing a structured small-scale mining. After my father's business empire crumbled, I was born not with a silver spoon. I wasn't spoiled, but I was born where I knew that my future was guaranteed. My future seemed on paper to be guaranteed, but when I grew up to an extent that I needed money for university, unfortunately my father could not sustain it. It led me, I would love to believe that I was such a brave man at that time. I volunteered to go and try gold mining. Imagine the son of a businessman being seen, most of it in Zimbabwe is artisanal miners, makorokoza, being seen korokozing. It was something to be ashamed with. But I didn't care about that much. All I cared was about my life. And you know what? What really motivated me is a story which I heard that two guys of my age who went to school together, and they dropped out of school and they didn't care much about going to university, and I cared much. I wanted to earn a degree. So I heard that they had shared $500 per person. There were two of them, plus the owners of the mine, two owners of the mine, and excluding expenses, they had shared $500 each. And that really captivated my senses, because my school fees by the end per semester was $500. And I thought, if I go, I asked the guy several questions to say, how many days does it last? And he said, we only did it for 2 weeks. And I was thinking, 2 weeks, if I can go, I will secure my money for the semester and my money for expenses. I will be home and dry, and that's the way I was going to fund my schooling. Let alone did I know that I was getting into trouble. Quickly told my mother and said, I'm willing to partner with these guys to go and explore the opportunity of starting gold mining. I immediately got the permission, which surprised me. Then I went ahead tomorrow morning and left and went gold mining. I was so determined, so prayerful. I remember I walked through the thick of the night. I woke up around 4 p.m. because the guy had told me that I start work at 7, and I didn't know where I was going, but he just directed me. And then I found my way there. Through the thickets of the bush where there are leopards and some dangerous animals like cheetahs. I didn't care much about that. I went prayerfully to the mine. When I immediately, after a few kilometers, what I would call maybe a walking distance of maybe 8 to 10 kilometers, I then was put on the location which I was directed. I went there, and the guy was surprised because I seemed to be a salad, what we call a salad guy. And I ate some salad. And my hands were soft. I was soft, my skin was smooth. As you can see, my hands, that softness still didn't go away, it still comes out. And I seem to be a spoiled guy. So the guys laughed with me, and the situation that I got there was really terrible. I saw the guys sleeping just in the dust, full of dust everywhere. And you know, I was used to my two-in-ones and comfortable bed by those standards. And I couldn't imagine someone just sleeping. They were just putting some cardboard boxes and sleeping there. And I was wondering, what kind of life is this? I really wondered. But I didn't give up. The guy said, I woke up, he introduced me to the other guys and said, oh, we can work together. And we went ahead and I bought some food. I brought some money, I think $20 by that time. Then I bought something. And they didn't have anything, guys. They were just surviving. I learned that life can be really hard. There are people who are really earning it hard out there. Okay, I will tell you more about what happened. Let's get deep into important matters. The geology of gold. Where does gold come from? Why? Because if you take it like me, who just went there without that knowledge, it will be difficult. As I will be sharing my story, I will be intermixing my story and also sharing something academic. Gold originates from supernova explosions and asteroid impacts. But this is I wouldn't want to make it this academic. Why? Because most of these supernova explosions and asteroid impact, it doesn't matter really to gold mining. But this happened thousands and thousands of years ago. In other words, let me explain it shorter. Pane zvakaitika munyika payai makarekare, pane atingati volcanic explosions nemafashama aiitika panguva iyoyo, ndo akakonzeresa kuti tive pave gold reform. It is deposited in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, it is deposited in greenstone belts. In most cases, it is in greenstone belt. But as one who is experienced, I discovered that it's not only in greenstone belts, but in most cases, it is in greenstone belts. The good thing about Zimbabwe is that we have something called the Great Dyke. Let me share. So, that's why gold mining is so valuable and profitable in Zimbabwe, because of that dike. So if you are a Zimbabwean, you have to really take advantage of the Great Dyke. There is vast opportunities there, and you will see, as I present, that most of the gold is unexplored, still out there. Nothing has been done in gold, believe me. Nothing has been really done by small-scale miners. They are just digging, but most of them, they don't have much knowledge about what they are doing. But obviously, they have practical knowledge, how it looks like. Let me put my pen. So the Great Dyke is this thing here. I do believe you can see. So this is how it appears when one is in space. This is a space satellite. One would wonder, why are there not buildings and stuff? This is just taking the geology below the ground, which we know. I do believe that this belt is the Great Dyke. And this belt stretches, I will show you where it stretches from. So you can clearly see on this map that it stretches. Let me try to zoom. So it's quite a very big. It stretches from north to south. It has chambers within it. You can see it is the words are complex. Selukwe complex actually. So I think these are places where Selukwe is Shurugwi. Hartley is modern day Chegutu, I do believe. Musengezi, I think, is there around Harare there. So this is the Great Dyke. You can see where it stretches. If I were to draw it on this map, it covers approximately this area. Or let's see on a, I think everything is explained. I wouldn't want to, but here is a clear picture of the Great Dyke. Let me highlight it so that you can see it. Again, you can see this continuous flow of the dike. And if you check here, it's a bit bigger, about here. This is the Great Dyke. So what's the Great Dyke? The Great Dyke is almost where when those explosions of geological things. Mind you, disclaimer, I'm not a professional miner. This is only for academic purposes. I may be wrong. If you are a professional miner, please can you share your comments? I would love to even still host you here. But I've done quite some research about gold. I do believe I know a few things. And also with my practical experience, I do believe I know a few things. So you can see, but this is areas, let's say maybe Shurugu is around here. Then here is the likes of Kwekwe in the Midlands, and here up to the likes of Manise, Chegutu stuff near Harare there. So let's share more. So this is the formations of the rock which are seen on the Great Dyke. Typical rocks that are found on the Great Dyke, but you will see the significance of it all when I start to share. This is how it appears zoomed. So these are some of the books to read when you really want to fully understand about mining. I would love to advise people to be a bit academic. Also, go when you want to do mining, go and try to do your own research. But also, sometimes what makes most scale miners successful, most of them, even without knowledge, is they don't plan that much because it leads to planning paralysis. So let me share this book by Forbes Mukumbate, Zimbabwe's Geological Survey. It's a must if you want to be in mining to read such books. They will help you much. Let's go. Yes. So this is the Great Dyke. You can see it stretches from here up to this point. And you know what? Areas haven't been, most of them, the Great Dyke hasn't been fully exploited. It has vast array of minerals that include platinum, which is more prominent, gold, which we are interested in, chrome, and many other minerals. So it stretches from as you can see, it stretches from Shishawani. It covers areas like Shishawani here, but from West Nikuson, Gwanda. That's why you hear that in Gwanda there are some minerals. It doesn't even necessarily mean that you have to be in the stretch of this belt. Even areas that are still closer, like here, they are still rich in gold deposits. And more so, gold is not only in the Great Dyke in Zimbabwe. There are a lot of other areas like in Mashingo where gold is. Like here in Mashingo, we have the Renko mine. There are more gold deposits in Zimbabwe other than the Great Dyke. But we're just highlighting the opportunity of exploring gold mining in the Great Dyke. You'll never go wrong. So from Shishawani, Shurugu, especially Shurugu is on the epicenter of the Great Dyke. Shurugu is on the epicenter of the Great Dyke. Vuma, as you go Chifu Kwekwe, as you know Kwekwe by the famous Cisco, and Kwekwe by the famous Makorokoza. Kadoma, as you know Kadoma, the famous Makorokoza. As it goes up Chegutu, that's the Hartley we saw there. It's almost like a highway. Chinoi, so that in this area, Shurugu, we have Unki mine, and we had the famous copper mine there in Shurugwi, and also we have gold mine. In Shawale, from Shawale, we have Mimosa mine. So you can see that big guys are really mining on the core. They are taking no one kutora uchi wenyika. No one kutora big guys are taking gold, be it gold, be it minerals. At the core of at the epicenter of the Great Dyke. As you go up there, you discover the likes of gas, platinum. You see, that's Anglo-Americans. They are really mining the core. That's why they say in platinum, gold is also involved in 7 other minerals. It's because they are dike. And I've tried to explain what's a dike. I've tried to explain what's a dike. A dike simply means the area of concentration where those implosions and volcanic activity were happening, and the flow, because when volcanic activities are happening, it melts into something like liquid. Then that flow flew. I would imagine maybe there was, in ancient times, there was a volcanic activity, maybe outside or inside Zimbabwe, which led to that flow of minerals. That's why Zimbabwe is rich. And you know, the good thing is that it's only the Great Dyke only concentrates there. Then it's not in any way outside that area. It only concentrates within the Zimbabwean map at the epicenter. So that's our God-given world. So let's go to. I've spoken about the Dyke, and also my mining was in Berengwa, within the Great Dyke. Within the Great Dyke. So the Germans, let's speak about the Germans. If you want to be successful in mining, especially in Zimbabwe, you have to get some clues from German. Why? Because why am I saying this? Because you will discover, as we are speaking, that if you want to do it like big guys, it's really expensive. And most people can't afford it. And yes, there are other clues that can help you to get there faster. How did the Germans mine gold in colonial Zimbabwe? They used the rudimentary geology and obviously forced labor. They established mines, famous mines like the famous Dyke mine, Globe and Phoenix, Calm and Mortar. They were big mines. And the Germans prospected the whole of Zimbabwe. So in most cases, if you want to be successful, try to look for German traces. How do you see German traces? Number one, there is a method, a secret method. If you watch this video until the end, I'll share with you a secret method of finding gold deposits using German mining claws. Okay, so let's go to the process. The process of gold mining and sampling starts from what's called geological mapping. You identify quartz veins, iron oxides, and other things. That's for geologists. I'm not a geologist, but the simple thing is, kana uchiziva nezvegold, to identify pane band regold. I'm not talking about band regold. Memory should be. If you are interested in gold mining, dombo randava kushare ndo dombo remari. Then I would have loved to share the one which is holding gold. So a quartz stone is a stone like that one you see. It's not like our normal granite, our normal stone. White Chicago, but you can only know it if you are holding it practically in most cases. But that's a quartz stone. So, but not, as I have told you, not all quartz stones look like that, and not all gold is in quartz. I want to run a gold I will speak about that. But let's just say all the gold that you know originates from this stone. I will then share with you the difference between alluvial gold and reef in layman's terms, or in terms dzemakorokoza. Kune ratinoti reef ndiro riri remumatombo iri. Then alluvial ndo iya yatinonochera murwizi inonzi goridhe rinowanikwa murwizi. But as you will see, as I'm presenting, you will discover that all gold comes from what? From the same source, from reef. Gold is the same. The difference is dzinongozwa pakuti iyi inenge yakadambuka yakaenda munzizi, and also due to time iri mumomo inoguma yava a bit pure nekuda kweerosion inenge yabviswa maimpurities akati wande. and also color yayo due to the sun and heat inenge yakaexposewa to the heat, so inoita kaudhakish, but yatinowana mumwe, but once yangopisiwa yatova mari yese, it becomes the same. That's why gold is so valuable. It's the one element which you can find in this purest form. Once it's pure is gold. Arisiani. So geological mapping. So sezvandangotaura iwewo zvaunozongoita manje unomira mugreat Dyke, it's either wamira muzvishavani kana uchida kuva successful. I'm not saying kumwe hakuna mahuyu chances. I've seen other guys vari kwagutuko vachiti kwai they had people that they are digging gold and they just went and started digging, going down. It was told up to commit tabata gold. It's not done that way. You have to identify first where gold is supposedly being found. Maybe panels gold rakadhuka, especially remasensor or something. Then ikokoko in that area, that's where you establish it. You can't just pan up or digger. It's not done that way. So the second thing is you test river sediments for alluvial gold. Apa manje taakutaura chi inonzi panning, taakutaura goridhe manje. Secretly, let me just break it down like this. All gold is especially from volcanic eruptions. That's why I had to go with you there. Pane vangu vanobhiti about kwanzi rakakushiwa nekamwe kachembere chichi. It's not like that. Rinotangira imomo mumaveins imomo marakacreatewa. Then what then happens is due to weathering and earthly movement, some of it, especially what's good about Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwean gold, most of it is really near the surface or on top of the surface. Why? Because if there are deposits, let me show you, if there were discoveries that gave people nuggets on the surface, it means that the gold bearing quartz, it's gold on top on the surface. Let me show you. As you can see, what's happening here. Where gold just appears in a field, in a space like this, there's no rock, there's no what, but gold is been discovered. You know what's happening in here? As I told you, gold comes from one source. So what would be happening here is one thing. Around this area, who knows how many kilometers? Maybe here, maybe there. There is a gold-bearing rock. And that rock, after some time, gold was on the surface. Weathering occurred. Matombo akatanga kusangana neweathering nekuda kupisa kwezuva. I know all we went to school. Ndobva gold riya ratanga kupfupfunyuka richiuya apa. The law of gold is it moves from the first thing is gold is dense, is much in a density yakati one day than especially than water is much denser. So as rain falls, that gold is not kunyura chi pasi because of weight. Not kunyura chi pasi because of weight. Every year pakunenge kuchinaya, for as long as riri pure soil, rinodzika in most cases, but not much. But as long as rangowana kuti kamukana rinotanga kudini kunyura pasi because it's a heavy metal. And also kuuya kwarinenge rakaita kuno, it's because of rinofamba nemvura. You know, as soil and rocks are moved by water, gold is also what? Moved by what? By water. Then by chance, these guys, maybe they come with a sensor panel, then they discover that there's gold. It doesn't necessarily mean pane munhu akakusha and it came here by luck. No, it came from somewhere. It came from some rock. I think I've explained it this much. It came from some rock somewhere around the area. It could be kilometers, it could be meters. I think someone has understood. Please give me a like if you like it so far. please subscribe. Kana uri paFacebook, like, share with a friend. Kana uchiziva nezvegold, une kamwe karuzivo futi kari more than me, kana uchitenderana neni, please support mucomment section. Kana usingatenderani neni futi, tiudze mazano. We'll do this quite for some time, and we'll even invite you to taura nezvegold kuti tiite panopa madhiri, panopa mashirts, because we share legit deals here. Kana uchida kuadvertisa ndibate, kana uchida kuadvertisa ndibate, tobva tangoita skillful, vanotoshare legit deals. Kana une compressor, maybe you have a compressor, maybe you want to hide hauna customer, ndibate. Kana uchida kubatsirwa, maybe you are in the diaspora and you want to start gold mining, ndibate, tokubatsira, tokupa ma-consultants, tokupa ma-experts, tokuitira ma-calculations kuti pangadiwa capital yemari kuti unyatsostanga. But as I will be speaking, you discover that there is what I call the gold value chain. You can enter into the gold value chain. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's only about gold mining. You can end up being involved in gold value chain. There are so many opportunities in regards to gold. There are so many opportunities in regards to gold. You can even supply equipment, mapiki, mashavel, and there's things zvinodiwa consistently, zvinopera zvichidiwa, mabattery ematorch, those anopera instantly, mahora, but I'll tell you what to do, because you can't just sell my explosive just like that. You have to go for licensing and stuff. But zvimwe zvakaita semaoil, you can vend them. Zvakaita se-equipment, se-food, you see. So let's go to we were speaking about testing river sediments. Saka manje kutesta river sediments, what you'll be doing is, as muarea yandakuratidza iya papa negold, andiwaona kuti pakaita kariver, iwe you go top, paunosuspect of gold flows ichitevera gradient from higher gradient to lower what detector iro masource detector. Okay, I think this will be a typical picture. Exactly. So this picture catches off your out. So this is what's happening. And as you can see, the river is likely to be flowing from this point to this point. And change the color, this color. So our river is flowing from this point to this point. From this point to this point, you see, we are imagining flow cheaper. And okay, then I want you to mark this area and this area. And if here there is gold, if there is a continuum, it means our gold. What then happens in most cases also, there are various gold sources that may be feeding into one river in most cases. But what you will do, you will discover that panenge pachimaina or miners, as they go down, at a point they are not out gold, they are running rapera, maybe here. What it means, but the river still continues. What it means is that you can simpler, you leave that area, that's a demarcation line yako. Then you same happens panoperera kunoko, where it ends kunoko. That's your demarcation yako, maybe it's here. And it can be kilometers, guys. So what you have to do now, Papa, trenching, if you know that gold is here, there is gold here, then it only means sources would be from this point and this point. Kana kune gradient woku kana kwakakwirira in most cases inenge iri valley. So what you do, you make your trenches uchinja uku ukainja uku kasempla uku ne uku ne apa, maybe 6 trenches there. It's cumbersome, I know, but that's the only way to get real good valuable gold. You do your trenches, then you must trench up you'll be sampling. That's how the Germans did it. You'll be sampling. Sampling is taking this dish, process yako kuitwa neuyu, but you know the sampling. Why? Because you are not taking it for economic value. You are just testing to see if there is gold present. But it involves that process again. You might use even a gold detector. As you trench and sample with the gold detector again until as it goes ukaona kuti uku hakuna, it means uku maybe hakuna thing. But uku, as you go, you will see it giving you clues up until wasvika zimai racho. And I'm telling you, zimai racho mongo chaiwo unenge wasvika, because gold is minor roots of gold per surface. It means it could be richer. It depends now kuti wazoriwana rakadini. So that's trenching inenge ichitaurwa apa. I know it could be tiresome to listen to some people, but this is not just one of those videos. It's a video for you to venture into gold and to also make sure that you are successful at the end of the day. That's the process of sampling. But you don't just sample. You are not allowed to just go there and start to dig for gold. But in most cases, when you think about doing gold, some they start maybe by sampling and getting a claim, then going for a prospector's license. But to do that, you need what's called a prospector's license. That gives you a chance to prospect even in one mufamure can buy in someone's territory. For as long as you own a prospector's license, you are allowed to sample for gold. And I'm advised that it's only at the current stage, it's only $70. You go to Mines Ministry, you say I want a prospector's license, you pay your $70, you are given your prospector's license, you go, you start to sample for gold. That's where you start to establish what your gold mine. Unenge wakupinda pa process inonzi pegging, where you go back to the ministry, waita trenching and pit sampling, deep tested pits maybe 2 to 5 meters deep to check all grade. Then geochemical analysis, wakuchitora iwo matombo ako aya unenge wani wabata zimai racho. You take those stones, mapatsa tanga chitaura aya nema few soil samples to the lab. Chaiko kune malab mining. If you check on the mining labs, I'll share my links in the description up below. There they will determine much gold rakawata say how much challenge gold it confirms if there is gold, there is a concentration of gold, how much can you expect per ton, and so forth. And if you know how much can you expect per ton, more so that will help you reach a last for how long. That also confirms my deposits accuracy and how likely are they to last. But for a small scale miners, reach a last for how long, it now requires sema quantities here vanouya vodrilla mabhoo odzika achiona kuti bhaji racho rakakura zvakadini. You see now, but it only kuindisa kulab kunokubatsira kuziva kuti mune gold here, pane gold here pauri kufundidza kuti iwe. So what are the best areas to mine in Zimbabwe? As I told you, ndakubatsira ndikakuratidza Great Dyke, Sao, Kadoma, Shampa, Pindura, Penalonga, kudhuze nekwamutare Gwanda. Ndo nzvimbo dzakungonzwa kuti nzeve vanasikoti vari kuita nezvegold vaibata. Ndo nzvimbo dzine high grade deposits. The legal process of securing a mining claim, you need, as I told you, the initial is a prospector's license. Then kana wadiscover kuti no apa pane uchi, then wakuregister claim yako. It's called to have exclusive rights on your mining claim. Steps to acquire a claim, obviously talk to identify kuti hapana munhu akambopa claim, unocheka in the mining affairs board, then open the claim yako, inoiswa mabeacon 4, then inoiswa ma-GPS coordinates, inoregistiwa pa-GPS. Then you register with the Ministry of Mines. Then kana uchida kuti zvive skillful, you then get an environmental impact assessment from EMA. Kana watoderwa pedza. What are the mistakes one can do? First, kungopinda not knowing. Second thing, kungotenga kunonzi kwanda kutengesera mine. Ungotengeserwa kamine kasina chakakudini. chakanobudisa ndinoona ndo zvinozoita kuti vanhu vati gold rinonyudza. Capital requirements, exploration and sampling, 1,000 to 5,000. But I would say capital exploration and sampling, what you only need is to transport your food and enough time. Transport food and enough time and enough manpower, even labor. Simba rako rekunyatsosampla uchitika because pachaimbomatic, obviously. If you have money can do that for you. So that's 1,000 maybe to 5,000 US dollars. But and also money, that's your power, your time, and maybe money, food. Unogona kuita nezvisvuupu zvako zvataita isu tiri makorokoza unozvibikira uri ikoko anoibata. Then claim registration 500 to 200, a prospectus 3720 US, then register claim 500 to 1,000. Then basic equipment from 1,000 to 2,000, but I don't believe that even 500 or 100 what you only need a few mapiki ako the basic mapiki ndo chokutanga. Then you come to machizel nesimbi inonzi migwara. I'll share my pictures acho simbi dzinonzi migwara nemapiki nemafushavelo obviously, magamboots safety dzakakomana kana dzako, maoveralls, mabattery, matorch, mahelmets, obviously maoverall. Then food, matemba. In most cases, the food that is consumed there, you can sponsor matemba, cabbage. But if you want your guys to be motivated to also, if you can do some meat, you can buy musoro, you can kill a goat for them, then you should just kill food. Because sometimes people who speak about sponsorship late. Doctor and kupinda mo value chain. Mechanized setup. Not all veins are easy. Nogona kwana pangu kuti bhandi rako riri mukati nematombo rakarumwa nedombo rinorumwa nezvakasiyana-siyana, especially great Dyke umo pamwe rinorumwa nematombo, but in most cases pamwewo rinenge riri mumavhu akati pawewo mbichana handinoona kana dombo rakati pawewo rinorumika nemapiki, parinorumwa nehard stone. You need what are called explosive to separate the gold ore from the other rubbish, from the other stones. So that's why you need also explosives. How much can you invest in explosive? Not all mining claims need explosive, but ultimately you need those explosives. And if I tell my explosives, panda compressor, you not drill my holes and open my explosives. Yes, I've done it manually. People can do it manually, but time is very important in regards to gold mining. You need quick turnover so that you can make some money. Then in case you would open cast mining, maybe build mongo but use it. You can also hire an excavator, but in most cases they don't need an excavator. What's important is a compressor into my explosives, equipment, some shovels, my gumboots or any and matter. Sources of funding, or the personal funding, joint investors, and all this skillful, you can even tell people how the opportunity of gold. Maybe you can go and explore over some samples or one, then they can partner you. No matter how much of value chain in gold. There are so many ways of entering into the value chain in gold. You discover that one is simple, but they don't have money, especially macro cause. So what they need is what is called a sponsor. Muna anouya and actually sponsor, buy my explosives, buy food, buy equipment. Safety nemabhatri, then izvozvo ndo richangeva simba rangu. When you dig the gold, after digging the gold we share in that 20%. In most cases sponsor anogona kupiwa 50% or 40 depending. And ane compressor zvachaita isu, the compressor would also take something like 30%, then sponsor otora something like I think 20%, then vakomana motora 20%. Kana pane muridzi wemaini futi anogona kupinda pana sponsor kana kupinda pavakomana kana kutora yake maybe 30%, vakomana 30, sponsor 30. It depends with maagri achi, but no value chain ichi ingold iyoyo. Then takuinda manje, we are going to go to big boy business andoibata, big boys business andoibata. So takuinda pakuti growing big means acquiring crushing machinery. Kune majaw crusher, kune mabore mill, and do matter. That crushing machinery, what happens? You discover that big mines like the Johannesburg mines, Manfred and Rebecca, they visible gold isu yes small scale miners will need that visible gold yatinobvisa separator muya umo then toibata toisvina but real money is meant kunonzi kumatank where that flow where the flow is going kana wakambosvika panocrashwa gold let me I will share that with you kana wakambosvika panocrashwa gold real money is kwarinoinja kuya uko yamunopiwa here is nothing near real money is kwarinoinja kuya uko because there they extract using chemicals. It's the finest particle of gold is leached down through cyanide. A concentration of ore is put there, cyanide yonikwa, unit of gold, leach going down. Then they use the process carbons where they put carbon, and it's now scientific. Attract gold. Carbons are attract gold. Carbons is something like maybe in some cases they use even zvakaita zviri simple zvakaita semakushe almonds but carbon as an element or as an element which kana wakatidzidza paperiodic table but anyway it doesn't matter ikoko vanoita ukanzwa vanhu vachitanopisa macarbon vanenge vanobvisa gold iro rabatwa nemacarbon. That's why you discover kuti mamwe vane mastamp niwo they don't vanhu havatobhadhari pastamp niwo paya vanongoti uyai mugigise gold renyu mahara vachitemba kuti they will take more money kana kuno kumawana kana 70 grams uko they are likely to get more than 70 grams or even half depending but more they will get more money then. That's why you see them being very rich, those guys. So vanhu vati kure you buy your own stamp mill wotora masmall scale miners mamwe vachiuya chicrasha paya you will also do the same. Hapana need yekuti kwai ungavapa gold rese unoita matenga ako you take gold raunenge rabva museparator you will take the whole gold while it's also mine yako chirovachi mines big mines they operate 24/7 vanambotaura turnover vakomana vachiita mashift yatova big mine establish maprocedures pava nemastructure pacompany mahr manager mamanager. I can't be everything. You can't do everything always. Then mining yatokura. Safety. Old mining is all about safety and being careful, paying attention to detail. Why? Because it's not all about it. Let's speak about safety. Mining you must put structures, wooden structures and not timber. Kuita isadirikira. Kudirikira it can kill you, can only involved. It can kill your guys once you kuchekeresa. It can also close ipapo panobuda mani atonoona manje. Ushaya wotanga futhi potozova unmining you see now. 2 pamatenga apa you need to fence properly kuti mombe dzingadzisauya dzichimwa. Why? Because cyanide is poisonous. Ikaspila ikapinda mumvura it's disastrous. It will kill people, it will kill livestock, it will kill the biodiversity, fauna and flora. You see, so you need to be extra careful when you're doing this. It's a business of carefulness. That's a lot of people die, especially now because it's informalized. A lot of people are dying, a lot of people are losing their lives, even without even compensation. And there's no one to see them. So it's a business of carefulness. The scale, you become big. Then want to change our to know about. So I will consistently share more about gold. I do believe this is a start. I will also try when we grow as big as possible. The mind to say. Number promise of value chain. You can sell currently all Zimbabwe. I think you go and name and I'll take some explosives. Not more than 5. Imagine. When my label, I don't matter my couple, not even more than 5. My gold smelters. What is more is my gold buyers. My smelters. So there's so many you can supply equipment to my campus. People need my campus to change that because what you do is go to my mines to track my clients at the moment. So you can go into the value chain, you can be a sponsor, a special sponsorship, but don't just a sponsor. Chango wacha so tfara kubuda oita unoona ma samples, oita unoona vakoma na kushata say be there know what's happening, not to sponsor just for ingredient. If you are in England willing to do gold outside Zimbabwe, partner with us, I will make sure I have a team where my guys go there. We start to establish, is there gold here? Is it worth your investment? If we see it's worth your investment, giving you reports at the crest or clear, then we go with the guys, the supervisors, show out, are they doing it in time, sending new reports, pictures and evidence. I think I've done quite a lot. Please don't hesitate to subscribe, share, like, comment. and do everything. See you next time when I speak about more things. If you want to advertise or share alleged deals, I also advertise products that I do believe in. Currently, we have a car market in Zimbabwe where you can list your car, buy or sell it for free. Make sure you visit our website. We're still in development process, but I hope by the time you visit, you make it better. Cheers.